Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am participating in the Disney-inspired YouTube Hop, hosted by Christina Sorge, and I thought I would pull out this piece of pattern paper from Simple Stories Say Cheese 3 collection. Now this is one that I've had in my stash for a while. I haven't used it because I really am not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. So it's got this great plaid on the back, and I'm not sure why so many collections have plaid in with their Disney, but plaid doesn't scream Disney to me. So I figured I would use this side. Now this has some pre-printed stuff on it, and sometimes pre-printed pattern papers are a little difficult to use. So I thought I would pull it out and see what I could figure out to make it happen. Now I do have two parade photos. This is from our 2017 Disney trip, and how fun is this? It's a 2017 collection. They aren't the best parade photos, like the characters' faces aren't really like there and in focus or like looking at us in particular, but I do have Mickey at the top here and I have Minnie at the top here, and I figured this would be great. So I'm going to figure out something with this. Let's see what I can do. All right, so the first thing I did was I figured I needed a pretty busy pattern paper, and what I mean by busy is something that is like full of pattern to really just stand out on this page that is this big expanse of black with the pre-printed kind of decorations on it. Now the first thing I did was choose which paper I wanted, and I decided to go with the text. The text does have things like Main Street, and this was on Main Street USA, so I definitely wanted that to be there. Then I decided I didn't want it just to be on this pre-embellished sheet of paper. I needed a background on it, and I go through phases in my scrapbooking where I do this. Sometimes I add kind of like a border background page, and sometimes I don't. This time I did. I went ahead and used a coordinating yellow. Now because my paper did have these pre-printed embellishments, I couldn't do what I normally do and chop a 1/2 inch off of each side. So what I did was just actually just chopped off 1/8 inch off of all 4 sides. So I had a very thin yellow border around there. Now I did make sure to have my printed paper go all the way across the page so it covers up the yellow border, and that is one thing that I really enjoy doing. I feel like it really brings a layout together. It kind of like joins its different layers. And then I decided I was going to do some sort of banner, and I picked this paper because it matches the stars that are pre-printed on the layout. And the black is the same exact black. So if you lay this star paper on top of the black paper, it's kind of like blah. There's no excitement. There's no sizzle. There's nothing except, the only thing I keep doing is choosing these black papers on top of each other. So I decided what I was going to do was jazz it up a little bit. But first I wanted to get a border at the top of the layout here. So I found this star border. Now this is from an Echo Park collection. I believe it is Wish Upon a Star. I have bought every single Echo Park Disney-esque collection and every single Simple Stories collection except for the holiday themed ones, because I dig them. I find them to be awesome and I love them. Now to jazz up the star paper here with the black background, I'm going to do one of my old tried and true methods, and that is heat emboss it with clear embossing powder. So I have my clear embossing powder in this larger kind of plastic case here, and that's because a lot of the times when I'm using clear embossing powder, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm completely covering up some sort of paper element, whether it's a banner, a die cut, anything like that. And I just love heat embossing. Like, I love watching it. I love the powder turning into this really like cool, shiny effect. I just think it's so much fun. This is just cheap clear embossing powder from Michaels. Once I get through it, I am going to be purchasing the Brutus Monroe embossing powder I hope they have it in clear. That's like my plan, because the Brutus Monroe embossing powders are magical, like seriously magical. So here I am, and what I did was, because it wasn't completely smooth, I decided to add another layer of my Versamark ink pad over the top, and then just go ahead and add another layer of embossing powder, and then it looks much more smooth. And you can really see the difference there between the paper that was embossed and the paper that wasn't. And like you can see it right here as well. There's definitely a color difference now. And like I said, totally cool with that, because I want it to have a little bit more contrast, because every single paper I was picking out to do this layout, besides the yellow on the back, was black on black. So we got that going. Now, you might have noticed I am actually not using my ATG, and that is because I just got back from a retreat, and of course in my suitcase the ATG kind of came unrolled. And yes, I do have two, but my other one is empty, and I was too lazy to really fix it, so I just grabbed this Thermoweb tape runner that I had. So it's working pretty good. I'm happy with it. Now, I did have to cut the banner a little bit, and that's okay. I just needed to separate it. I definitely wanted the stars above the star border sticker, and I didn't need a whole lot of banner at the bottom. So yeah, I did do a lot of embossing I really didn't have to do, but I enjoyed it, and it was a fun time for me, so I don't feel like it was like a waste or anything like that. Plus, embossing powder goes a long, long way, so I'm okay with it. If you would rather use your embossing powder much more sparingly, really plan out where you're going to emboss your paper, and then that way you won't be using more embossing powder than you actually need. So I took a moment. I was looking for some fun foam. Yes, I did say fun foam. My friend Crystal of Pineapple Papers gave me some fun foam at retreat, and I haven't fully unpacked yet, you guys, so I'm not exactly sure where it is yet. So I had to go back to my tried and true unfun foam. But unfun foam fun fact, that Thermoweb tape runner was not sticking to the foam, so I had to pull out my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm almost out, so it was kind of hard to get it to come out of the bottle. I just add a little bit more tape runner to that embossed paper there, and then I press it down. Now, the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive has a little bit of trouble sticking to the embossed paper. It kind of smears and kind of runs a little bit until it's dry. So my pictures do kind of like swirl around the page a little bit, but now that the layout is dry, it's stuck great to it. So just something to be aware of. It's the first drawback to this adhesive that I found, but I mean, all in all, it's not a huge drawback. So at first I thought I would really like to add a castle here because I am on Main Street USA, and Main Street USA leads straight down to the castle. I tried the blue one or the black one first, because, you know, I keep reaching for the black things for this layout, and I didn't really like it. And then I thought, you know what, I'll just use one of these blue ones. And I went ahead and I even got all the unfun foam on the back of it, and then I just decided, no, I don't like this. So I decided to try a few more things. I really like this Viewmaster, and I thought that it really went with kind of like the theme I had going on here, where it's there's Woody and Jesse there, and I just felt like that was a good fit. But something was about it. I really struggled with this part, adding in some more embellishments. Sometimes I get something done on a page, and I'm like, I don't want to add anything. I want this to stand out. And that especially happens when I do kind of like mixed media and glitter paste backgrounds. Like, I don't want to add much more to it because I want that to stand out. Same thing with this embossed piece of paper. Even though it's not like a hugely technique driven or anything like that, I just want that to be like, draws your eye into the photos, and I don't want to add a whole lot of extra embellishments. Now I do add a few, but I think it's a good match, like a good balance of embellishments. So as you can see there, that's where I noticed that the photos were kind of like smooshing around and swirling around on top of the embossed paper there. Now I do go ahead and stick with Best Place in the Whole World. I just really, really love me some Disney, you guys. Now I thought that these stars that were on the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, my neck just popped. Man, that didn't feel too good. Now I thought that those stars would layer over top of the stars that were pre-printed on the page, but they did not. So I decided to not go that way. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do to really add a little bit more fun to this layout. Now, I am a big fan of more is more. And there it goes again. It's kind of sliding all over the page. And then I just kind of hold it there while I look at the layout, kind of like face on, so I can see if I need anything. And I do. I definitely need something. I pull out these puffy stickers, and these puffy stickers are amazing. They are so soft and so fluffy and so puffy. And I even almost do this one, but then I was like, nah. Everything else is kind of small. My embellishments are kind of small. The scale is definitely down, and that's kicking it up to a level that I really don't want to bring it to. And I'm just trying out different things because, like I said, got a ton of Disney stuff. I mean, I am on a 2017 Disney trip, so gotta make that happen. There's been a couple other Disney trips since then, so I really need to get these layouts finished is what I'm thinking. So I have these enamel stars, and I do cover up that one gray enamel star, and then I decide not to cover them up, not to use the bigger stars, and I just use the little teeny stars and kind of sprinkle them around the pre-printed stars on the page. So instead of kind of masking those stars off and kind of being like, oh, we're not really worrying about this, what I'm doing is bringing attention to it. And that's one thing you can definitely do with pre-printed things on a page. A lot of the times we try to like cover it up and mask it. We even paint over it with our mixed media and stuff like that. But sometimes you just got to embrace it. And that's definitely what I wanted to do with this one. So I decided to take some enamel dots, and there are already pre-marked spots on this page where things can go. So that was pretty handy. So I just took my enamel dots in varying sizes of black, and I placed them over top of the white dots because I keep choosing all the black items for this page, and that's okay. Totally okay. You can choose whatever color you want to scrapbook with, and I really like the fact that I did this because I really think it makes my photos pop. And since the photos aren't like great face characters, like I've seen some parade photos where like it looks like the characters are just there for you to take their picture, and mine are not like that. It kind of makes you draw into those photos and kind of look and see what's going on there. And like makes you explore the photos a little bit more. Sometimes I think that it's important to have those kind of photos in your albums, because if everything was like a great face shot of the characters, then it would kind of be like, well, what else was going on? You can tell that this is a parade. You can tell that there's a lot of movement. So it's all good. Now, I just used some glimmer pen, and I'm kind of drying it with my heat tool a little bit. Now it does kind of curl up my paper, but it will flatten down. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone else who is doing the Inspired by the Magic of Disney YouTube hop. I believe we are also going to be posting on Instagram, so check us out over there. You can find me there. I am Steak Goddess, SteakGoddess. And then since this one layout is going on my 2017 album. I am having a small Mickey head somewhere on every page in that album, so I just had to throw in my little wooden Mickey head right there, and I think that he is super cute. So it's all good, you guys. See you soon.